fear, if I'm hearing this correctly, and granted, you guys keep me honest, that can be healthy as long as you do not allow it to paralyze your actions from being productive, does not allow it to grow into anxiety, and then the next layer of that, not allow it to grow into a phobia. But fear, as the definition, is something that can prove to be healthy because it serves as a self-preservation agent, if you will.
Like, they the bullying stuff going on. You got people that's in that circle that really don't want that to happen. They don't want to fight, but they don't do nothing to stop the fight. So that's fear. They don't want to step in because they want to draw attention to them. So that'll stop you from doing anything. Yeah, that's what y'all talking about. It'll stop you from stopping fear. But then you got good fear, like under God, you're supposed to have, like you were saying about the president or whatever, you gotta have good fear because, with good fear, it's good.
It can protect you sometimes. Yeah. So there's good fear and there's bad fear.
Everything falls out.
I mean, it's a powerful word, Like you say, if you don't have faith, sometimes the fear can get the best of you.
Faith, that's an interesting point. I mean, you talk about faith. And faith and fear, are those complete opposite ends of the spectrum? So if you have fear, does that mean you don't have faith?
Fear is an emotion. That's all it is, an emotion. Worry is a result of that emotion. Fear is not an anonym for courageousness. Fear is what allows you to take action or not take action because you're either paralyzed or you're motivated by it. So fear can be healthy. But it's the action that you take on the back end of that emotion. So if you have anxiety, your heart starts beating, you start sweating, it's because you were fearful of something, and now your anxiety starts to rise because you're worrying about what may or may not happen.
A young man that just recently committed suicide in Kansas City. If he had a healthy amount of fear, to a small degree, there's the possibility that he would have never committed suicide. He would have never murdered that girl. Now, you can get into the gun argument and Bob Costas and all of that, but had there been a healthy amount of fear in him, the fear of death, the fear of doing time, the fear of committing first-degree murder, had there been a healthy amount of fear, that young man would probably still be alive today.
I think that you're 100% right. There was fear there. There was all kinds of emotions. There's everything in that situation that led to the things that led to it. But he just said something that was very profound. Fear is an emotion, okay? There's products that come out of emotions, okay? Fear only has two products. It has a coward or a courageous person. That's it. Right. There's only a few things that come out of fear. Cowardness or courageousness. That's it. But it is an emotion. And something that comes out of an emotion it is a product of an emotion. And that's what I think is wrong. That's what I think is wrong with the youth, because there's fear there in our youth. You said there isn't. There is fear. But it's two things that come out of fear: courageousness or cowardice.
I'm sorry, what's your name, man? Terrell, go ahead.
I'm thinking, fear, like you said, he made it one of the best points for us, the emotion-wise. But fear is everything. We all have our own opinions on everything. But being a coward, that could have been a smart decision. Sometimes I know this.
You talking about Belcher?
No, because he said coward.
Oh, in general, okay.
Being a coward, someone can say this is being a coward, but that could have been a smart decision. And I say that from personal experience. Right. It's been things that I could have done to someone, but I chose not to do it because that wasn't the best situation, because I was going to get myself into something else.
Right.
Then I guess you can say, coming back to the whole being sure of yourself and spiritually wise, not worrying about what nobody say. And at the end of the day, for real, that's what it's always going to come back to. Like you said, the Bible. Spiritually, if you're not right spiritually, you're going to deal with these different endeavors in life, and they're going to bring you down. Like fear. That's why I said the man that I'm growing up to be right now, this day at 29, only thing I fear is God. Why should I fear anything else? I'm not scared of nothing. There's nothing for me to be scared of.
But I want to put something out there. Now, the word teaches us, and I see we got my man said you can talk about the Bible all day. So you can finish this scripture for me. God did not give us the spirit of fear, but the spirit of power and of a sound mind and was and discipline and self-discipline. Thank you. All right, so so God did not give us the spirit of fear. So I'm not disputing that it is an emotion. That's how it manifests itself. But I would contend that fear is a spirit. And because if you look at that verse, it says God did not give us the spirit of fear. So can we contend that the enemy, in all of his efforts to steal, kill, and destroy, has created that spirit to instill in us, to destroy us and derail us and distract us and detract us from accomplishing the things that we were originally intended to accomplish?
If I adopt the spirit of fear and I am that person who becomes paralyzed, it doesn't just impact me. It impacts my wife, it impacts my children.
And the enemy knows that.
So the enemy, to your point, there is a strategy to either get me to see myself as a failure or to engage in activities that take me off the track that God had already designed for me. So the spirit of fear, I would agree with you 100% that it is a tactic, a larger tactic, a larger strategy by the enemy to get us off track, to get us not to move or to act in a way that will further take us away from the place that we've been created to hold.
I know at the same time, for me, I was forced to go to church up until 12.
Say it again.
I was forced to go to
They
church.
had after-school programs and all that, right? We had to go.
I had to
all
go to
this
church.
stuff.
Up until 12, 13 years old, where mom stopped coming in the room, tapping me on my shoulder, because she kind of like felt the direction I was going in. I didn't understand it then. She kind of let me drift because she had that faith that she knew God wasn't going to let me go but so far.
Right.
And it didn't come back to me until I was about 19. Is when it kind of came back to me, and I kind of like felt like, hold on, something is bigger for me. I done been shot at. I done ran into situations where I could have been locked up still to this day. But I'm not.
Well, Tavon, I want to applaud you for stepping up and having the courage to say that this is what you want from us. I'm a school teacher, but I teach at Carver Howard at Lake Clifton. So I see kids in your generation every day. And one of the most profound things I learned is you guys do listen. I thought you guys was tuning me out and they'd be like, Mr. Turner, you don't know about this life. And really. And they'll see me in McCullough Home because I grew up in McCullough Home, like, you from around here? Yeah. So now they saying, he may understand what I'm going through. Right, he may understand what I'm going through. And one of the things that I ask from you guys and your generation is that don't be afraid to come to us. It's a two-way street. It's people like me and the rest of these men in here, we want to be there for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm not afraid to approach anybody. I will go anywhere.